Welcome. Welcome to the announcement of the 2020 Inwood Film Festival Filmmaker Fund Awards. I'm your host, Aaron Sims, the founder and executive producer of Inwood Art Works. For those of you who are not aware, Inwood Art Works is a nonprofit organization located in the heart of Inwood NYC that works to create and curate professional performing and visual arts in Inwood and surrounding community. I am thrilled to be announcing the grant recipients of the 2020 Inwood Film Festival Filmmaker Fund. And this is your time at home to scream and yell and clap and say, yes, finally, we've been waiting for this for, I can't even tell you how long. So I feel love, I feel it coming through the screen. It's good, it's like vibrations, it's like 70,000, if you could be 70,000 together. I'm with you and I hear you, and thank you so much for everything. So truly, before I introduce each of the filmmakers individually, I'd like to give a little bit of background about what the fund is. So I created these artist grants in 2019 as extension of our Inwood Film Festival to financially support and encourage the creation of locally made cinema in our Inwood community, which includes Inwood, Washington Heights, Marble Hill, Kingsbridge, and Riverdale. Submissions for the Film Festival Filmmaker Fund was opened the past summer from June 1st through July 31st, and the applications were evaluated on various criteria, which included the filmmaker's local Uptown residency, validated credits as a filmmaker, and of course, their proposed project. Despite the global pandemic, I'm proud to say it has shown tremendous growth in two big ways. First, we are awarding grants to 8 filmmakers, 8. This is up from 5 in our first year last year, 2019. I would say just doing it for a second year in itself is a success, but I'm particularly proud to be able to expand this grant. And second, this year, more than half of the funds we awarded to traditionally minority filmmakers in the industry. This is consistent though with us as Inwood Art Works, because our mission statement and everything we do is naturally dedicated to a multicultural programming that we're known for. And it's as well, we feel reflective of the diversity of New York City and the Uptown community itself. So we're very incredibly proud of both of those things. For more than 5 years, Inwood Art Works has been working in very small ways on making big impacts in the arts and the entertainment in our Uptown community and beyond. And it is an honor to be able to provide funding and support to these Uptown storytellers and give the opportunity to advance their work during this most difficult year for the arts community. Well, I mean, I would love to be together in person to announce and raise a cup to us all, but as we did last year, but this virtual presentation by no means diminishes my excitement for the green lighting of these films, all these projects made by these tremendous artists. So without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, the 2020 Filmmaker Fund grantees in alphabetical order, Jim Bradley with Karen, Stephen Burnson, Beautiful Strokes, Dilipan Ganesian, The Other Side of Broadway, Carlos Hiciano, Kiko, Michael Manese, Asian Persuasion, Brian Miller, Giant, Jeffrey Smith, Get Out, Gentrification, Good or Bad or Ugly, and Libbystad, Where the Rivers Meet. Now, I'm so thrilled to have all of these filmmakers here with us today, and I like to mute myself now, and I'd like for these filmmakers, as they were introduced, to tell you a little bit about themselves, their project, and what they have coming up. So, Jim, please take it away.
Well, thanks so much, Aaron, and thanks to Inwood as well for this opportunity. I think that has been a ray of hope, I think, in some particularly difficult times. So appreciate all your guys' efforts. And I wanted to just take a moment to just congratulate everybody, to wish you all a successful journey through this, to challenge yourself and to use this to really make a difference in your life and hopefully the lives of others as a result. So I'm Jim Bradley. I live in Riverdale. My film is called Karen, and everything that the word Karen brings along with it. A little bit of background maybe on kind of where I came from to get to this script. I am my day job for most of the last 20 years has been working in the corporate video world, traveling around the world doing commercials and a variety of corporate projects. And I've been fortunate to work in a lot of different places, but I've always worked for a big corporation, so the message hasn't been mine. When the pandemic kind of forced us to go into lockdown in March, I went remote, and I haven't been back into my office working on Zoom 5 days a week, directing people, which has been its own frustrating and exuberant thing at the same time. It, you know, for the first time in a long time, it really gave me the opportunity to be more introspective. I mean, I've done projects of my own along the way, but it's difficult when you know, have a pretty challenging and engaging job. And so I think the thing that this really came from is, you know, it's almost like Night of the Hunter, right? There's hope and fury. And the fury is just the astonishing mismanagement of every form of government and responsibility in this country on every level. And you know, we, as an older male, I went into virtual lockdown. I didn't leave, I mean, except to walk my dog, didn't really leave my apartment for many months. When George Floyd was murdered, and we had a rally in Van Cortlandt Park, that was really the first time that my wife and I actually went out and did something. It got me to thinking about, you know, how to make it, you know, my first instinct is to, and my second instinct is to, okay, how can I put pen to paper and make something of this? And so Karen really is about, you know, how race can kind of lead to assumptions, but kindness can sometimes lead to understanding. So it's a small little piece. I think it has a really nice heart. I wrote it in a panic when the clock was ticking and the deadline was coming. So, but I felt like right away it was a really good idea, and I was able to kind of latch onto it. So, you know, the lockdown, I think, has changed a lot of things for us. And, you know, there's no clear, I think, insight into, you know, how it will, you know, how it will and when it will end. So I want to thank, first of all, my wife, who was the one who said, hey, you should apply for this grant. She came across it. My wife is Ruth Mullen. And I want to, again, thank Inwood for the opportunity. And, you know, again, I want to say to everyone, you know, really challenge yourself. And if you need help, let's start a thread. You know, if there's anything that is coming up that I can help with, or that any of us can help with, let us know. I know Aaron has a lot of resources, and, you know, probably everything is covered, but if you just need someone to bounce an idea off of, you know, my door is open. And the last thing I'd like to say, and I hope I've kept this under 5 minutes, I think I have, I didn't look at the clock, is everyone, my fellow filmmakers and everyone that's watching this, go out and vote. Make sure you encourage everyone to vote. Let's vote for change. Thank you. Good luck to all of you.
All right, I think I'm next. Ditto to everything that Jim said about congratulations. It's pretty bizarre that this is happening right now. Also ditto to partners who convince you to submit at the last minute, because I would not have submitted if not for my girlfriend saying, just do it, just do it. So shout out to Sana, my girlfriend. I'm Stephen Burnson. I live in Washington Heights. My project is a tennis mockumentary called Beautiful Strokes. It's it's about a former child tennis star named Pete Sampras, who is trying to reconnect with his childhood dream of defeating tennis legend Pete Sampras. And he's doing that by taping a Sampras poster to a park wall and competing against it every day. So background on the project, one of my friends called Pete Sampras a few years ago, and I couldn't shake it. I thought it was really funny. And thinking about it every day since, I was like, what is the difference between being born as a Pete Sampras or being born as a Pete Sampras? Is it bad to be one? Is it good to be one? How do you cope with thinking that you're one and maybe being another? I played baseball for 16 years and I never got good at it. So I think that's probably where this came from. But I was really excited to finally make it and to have it be something other than an inside joke. And hopefully it's something that people can relate to in some way.
Am I next? Thanks. Hi, I'm next. I'm Delevan Gannison. I am honored to be chosen to receive this grant, and I just want to see that Pete Sampras movie really bad. That sounds amazing. That's the first thing I want to say. And but a little bit about me is my first feature actually was submitted to the Inwood Film Festival and was chosen. But unfortunately, we never got to show it because the festival was in March, right at the beginning of the pandemic. So hopefully we can reschedule that sometime. Aaron's giving them the thumbs up, so that's a good sign. But so this will be my first short. And it's about, I just moved to Inwood a year ago, and it's about what I perceived as kind of the cultural divide at Broadway. It's called The Other Side of Broadway. And on one side, it's literally, there's a train track and it's the other side of the tracks, the one train. And it just seems like a cultural divide between one side of Broadway and the other. So seems to be a friendship, or there is a friendship in the script between two teenagers, and it shows how their friendship really cuts through any kind of cultural divide. And while they're the adults in the story really have their prejudices and are set in their ways, so kind of juxtaposes those two mindsets and how children often are more honest. And so it's a little heartwarming bit of humanity. And hopefully I can make it well, and amidst this pandemic, see how we film outdoor scenes, especially I'm a little nervous about, but we'll see. And good luck to everyone.
All right, seems like I'm next. Hi everyone, my name is Carlos Ciciano, and I want to say thank you to Aaron for this opportunity. It's great. Congratulations to everyone else who won. Can't wait to see what you guys come up with. It's a great accomplishment to even be here, so I'm just happy that I'm here. I live in the Inwood area, actually by the one train. So I totally understand that cultural divide that you're talking about. It's really fun. But my short film is titled Kiko. It's a dramatic portrait of a 10-year-old Latino boy and his experience with microaggressions and his family life struggles while transitioning from the city into suburbia. It's roughly based on my own experience with racism and prejudice in my youth. And the reason why I want to make this film is twofold. I think racism and prejudice is still very prevalent in today's society, and to bring even the subtle, less overt forms of prejudice is very important to bring awareness to that. So secondly, this story was very cathartic for me to write, and I hope to share that catharsis with other Latino Americans that often feel torn between two identities. And I hope it resonates with other Latino Americans, you know, so that they can feel heard or understood with this unique, multifaceted experience of being the child of an immigrant. I want to thank Inwood Arts Festival, Inwood Arts Filmmaker Fund for helping me bring this project to life. The grant is not only giving me the funds, but the confidence to share the story. I had planned on shooting this earlier this year, but in a smaller scale due to my budget, but COVID happened and ruined my plans for development. So over time, I allowed a bit of drive and motivation to finish it up, but being awarded this fund actually sparked the fire in me again. So I'm excited to get to work and share this story. Thank you all.
Hi, everyone. I'm Michael Manese. I live here in Washington Heights. I've been here for 10 years. And my short film is called Asian Persuasion. It's a comedy with an all Asian cast. And basically, it's about a public marriage proposal gone awry. And I was inspired to write it when my wife and I were walking around Central Park, and we're looking at Bethesda Fountain, and we watched two public proposals happen like back to back. And I always thought they're like really cheesy and, you know, look at us kind of thing. And I was wondering, well, what would happen if a couple does decide to do something like that and their friends are gathered around them, and then, you know, maybe an ex would pop out of nowhere, and then all the dirty laundry would be aired out while this proposal is about to happen. And that's about it. I'm making this short film for 3 reasons. One is, well, it's a comedy, and I think we could all use a little bit of levity these days. Second is I want to move forward with my film career. The last movie I made was almost 5 years ago. We're still doing great. We made 21 film festivals around the world, including the Inwood Film Festival. And also the third reason is I want to shoot it in Fort Tryon Park to showcase a little bit of the area where I live in. And I want to wish everyone good luck on their projects, and thank you, Aaron Sims and Inwood Art Works for your support.
Hey everyone, I'm Brian Miller, and I'm working on a film called Giant. And Michael, just one side note, I at one point participated in a dancing flash mob for a marriage proposal outside the fountain, and that went pretty well. So if you need any details of a real life event or a dancer, I can participate. But thank you to Aaron and to the Inwood Filmmaker Fund. This is great to be a part of like-minded people in the neighborhood. I live in Washington Heights, and like Jim, I work as a producer, shooter, and editor, usually on corporate videos. I work with Columbia University and do freelance work as well. So every once in a while I get to work on short films, which is a nice change of pace, and it's nice to kind of exercise those muscles every once in a while too, and try a different method of filmmaking. So Giant is a film about a character named Maddie she moves to a new small town where she works as a journalist. And in this small town, there is a 100-foot giant who she takes an interest in, and Maddie is an outsider and is looking for a way to kind of fit in, and she sort of befriends this giant, and through this relationship finds that maybe she isn't quite so alone. And so this film is going to utilize some special effects, which you wouldn't normally see in an indie short film, which we're excited to try out. This is a script that was written by my friend and collaborator, Dylan Tuchillo, who I've worked with many times before. I'm not sure if any of you know him, but he has worked on some films that have been in the Inwood Film Fest before, as have I. And so this is just another step in our process of working together and hopefully improving our craft and getting some new stories out there. And we thought that a story about outsiders and fitting in and making connection, this might be a good time for that in this world where we're apart and many of us are struggling to connect. So thank you again to Aaron and to the Filmmaker Fund, and I look forward to seeing what everybody creates. If anyone needs any help, please do reach out. That's, I think, one of the special parts about this community. So good luck, everyone.
Hi, my name is Libbystad, and I also want to give a shout out to Pat Tillery, my neighbor, who convinced me to apply for this grant. Well, traditionally, my background is in model making and set design for theater, and I very recently have bridged into television working as an art director. But of course, over the quarantine, I was doing none of those things. But I did use my model making skills to start merging the two art forms together into stop motion animation. And I skipped over Jeffrey because I got nervous. So we'll be back for you. Thank you, guys. But anyway, so that's kind of how I got into this mess. And I am usually behind the scenes. I am never in front. So, but my short film will be called Where the Rivers Meet, and it's stop motion animation based in Inwood Hill Park, primarily around probably where everyone's seen that giant monument to where the tulip tree used to stand. And it was a meeting place both for the Native Americans and also for people today. And I'm really trying to focus on community then and now, and examining, land acknowledgement, our history, and what's good and bad about it, so that it's not so simple, and it's not so you can't pull the pieces apart. How they all fit together. Yeah, and I guess that's what I have to say. Thank you, guys.
All right. I'm assuming people can hear me. My name is Libbystad. No, kidding. I'm Jeffrey. Right? Sorry to disappoint you. I'm Jeffrey Smith. and it's an honor to be here on a very serious note. And I want to thank Aaron Sims for a couple of things. One is making someone who is transitioning from a solid career, I'll tell you about my day job in a little bit, to film. And I'm a novice at this, to be totally honest with you. So I literally saw the ad somewhere, I want to say at a bus stop, and was walking my dog, but unfortunately had to put him down a couple of weeks ago. So, kind of on a nicer note, just to say that I followed up, and Aaron was very personable and got back to me, and I was awarded a grant. So I'm thankful to Aaron Sims, as well as to the Inwood group, in particular, the Inwood Filmmakers Fund, for helping me do this work. I have spent many decades living in the Bronx in various parts, and I literally have seen the transition from a borough that was ethnically diverse at some levels to a borough that became largely Black and brown to a borough that essentially is now becoming for the affluent in many places. So if you look up and down the concourse and the Riverdale area, and Kingsbridge Heights, Van Cortlandt Village, Marble Hill, there's beginning to be a large shift. By day, I've been a professor. I'm a college professor, and my area is psychology and social sciences in general. So I teach like intro to psych, abnormal psych, child psych, marriage and family courses like that. But I've been blessed to travel the world in various capacities in different parts of my life. I really have been spending more time in the Bronx, and again, keeping an eye on the time, I'm amazed at how expensive this borough, the Bronx, is becoming. And you could argue that we can say possibly that it went midtown and went uptown, and Harlem's going through some gentrification, Washington Heights, Inwood, and of course Marble Hill and North. But my my focus, what really got me into this is my wife and I, we have 2 grown kids, and my son literally was walking by one of the new buildings in the area, and he said, "Oh, Daddy, it's affordable housing." And I said, "Well, just call up and find out what that means." And for a studio apartment, $82,000 was the minimum income for a studio. And I just kind of sat there and I said, $82,000. I did the math. I said, that's, $1,600 a week, right? For 52 weeks, that's roughly $82,000 for a studio. And I said, I wonder who they expect to live there. And so when I look at the word gentrification, again, without trying to play professor here, when I look at the word gentrification, it really means replacing an existing base with a new base of people. And some of the definitions vary as to, color and color line, which I'm not making this a race argument, but it is clearly an economic argument. And so looking at this borough as one that has spent the better part of 60 years here, except for travels and other things, I look at it and I say, who's going to be able to afford to live in this city? And I'll just close on this because I don't want to go past my time. But I essentially looked at this and I said, we've gotten to a point now, when one of my neighbors moved out of her house is next door to ours. When she moved out, her real estate attorney said to her, make sure you want to leave because you're going out west where it's a lot cheaper. You might not be able to afford to come back here once you leave New York. And I think that kind of spurred me to look at what's going on with gentrification, how equitable is the process, who's involved, who has ownership, what does affordable housing mean? Growing up where I did, when I did many years ago, $82,000 a year was not, even if you factor what money was at the time. So again, my work is going to look at the essentially gentrification in the sort of Kingsbridge, Marble Hill community, and do some on-spot interviews, ethnographic research, walking among people, asking questions and taping it. The grant will help me with my video work and editing. So that is where I am. Thank you all. You can reach me if you want to know why you don't like your parents or relationships. I can help you with that. Anything as far as when it comes down to film stuff, I will clearly be calling upon you. Once again, my name is Jeffrey Smith, and it's an honor to be with esteemed people as yourself. Thank you.
All I got to say is, who wants to see a film?
Yeah,
I mean, unbelievable. You can, and you can all unmute yourself too now. But I just want to say, I mean, I just have to say, personally speaking, so much joy right now seeing you all here. The energy for me is very palpable. I'm sitting alone in my living room, but it really is. It's truly wonderful, and people kept on asking me, "What are you going to do, Aaron, when March hit?" I mean, for those with context, March 9th was the day we called it off for the Inwood Film Festival, which was going to be March 12th, for those of you who weren't playing along at home. Dilipon knows very well. And so when people still say to me, Aaron, I wasn't taking it seriously until I heard you called off your festival, and that was pretty, like, whoa, that's strange. And then obviously the cards fell. By the following Tuesday, things really got serious. So I don't take it lightly not having a festival. I still, just for those of you playing along at home who want to know what's going to happen with the new film festival or this year's film festival, we're still going to do it. We're still going to do it sometime. It may not just be this year. That's just the pure, to me, the Inwood Film Festival has transcended just being about film. It's been about a platform, using art, which is film, as a platform to bring people together. and pretty much binding our community together as an event. And we want to do so safely in a way that doesn't compromise the integrity of the festival nor the people who love it. So we'll bring it back, and don't. So for those of you who think, oh, Aaron Sims he doesn't care. No, I care very much, and we're going to come back when it's right. And who knows? Hey, if we have to do the 5th annual Inwood Film Festival in 2021 one week, and do the 6th annual the next week, I'll do that. So don't think I won't. That's crossed my mind. So and if it's 2022, we'll do the 5th, the 6th, and the 7th in 3 weeks. It's going to happen, folks. So don't worry about these filmmakers. It's going to get done, and we're going to have their films, because we have a firm, staunch belief in our filmmaking community up here. And so I just want to make sure you all know, playing along at home, and these filmmakers definitely know that, we're going to champion their work no matter what. It's going to get out no matter what. So I am just invigorated and filled with such joy hearing about these projects. So that is essentially, there you have it, folks. The 2020 Inwood Film Festival Filmmaker Fund grantees. And I like to add, upon the conclusion of these projects, whenever they're finished, the films will be automatically submitted to the selection committee for the annual film festival. So consider yourself primed for what is to come. I'd like to thank Jim Bradley, Stephen Burnson, Lee Poncanesian, Carlos Hiciano, Michael Manese, Brian Miller, Jeffrey Smith, and Libbystad for joining me on this virtual award announcement special. We'll be sure to update you on their projects and their progress when they come through, but feel free to follow them on their own social media channels for further updates. And last but not least, I'd also like to add that the Inwood Film Festival Filmmaker Fund is only made possible through the generous support of Inwood, Washington Heights, Marble Hill, Kingsbridge, Riverdale, Uptown residents, local Uptown businesses, and Inwood Art Works board of directors. We work damn hard to put our money where our mouth is and invest in our local community. We believe it's important to do that, and we believe artists are merchants, we believe artists are entrepreneurs, and they deserve to be supported. So we're going to do our best to keep on looking forward to expanding the reach and depth of our programming to support more individual Uptown artists, and hopefully, God willing, bring back the fund next year in 2021. But all our sources of earned revenue have dried up because of COVID, and we need your help to keep it going. So if you believe in what we're doing, like to support us, please visit us at inwoodartworks.nyc. It's our website. You go to inwoodartworks.nyc/donate. You can make contributions on PayPal, wherever which way you want to donate. We'll take your money gladly as a 100% tax-free donation to make a contribution towards sustaining the arts uptown. Thank you once again for tuning in, and we will see you at the movies.